Hey guys, Yuvraj here from the Brainstorm Force team, bringing you this week's edition of WordPress news. So let's get started with the stories because we have a lot of interesting stories to cover. So talking about the first story for the day is about the Gutenberg 11.9 release. Now this is the latest release for the Gutenberg plugin, and there have been multiple, a lot of improvements. So I'll quickly give you an idea of what the improvements are. And of course, if you want to read completely the story, you can go down in the comments, click on the link that I'll leave down in the description of this video, just below the like button, and read them out. So the first update is with regards to the UI. That has changed a little bit. This is the new UI. The second change is that now you'll see an edit option in the appearance menu. The third one is regards to the pattern explorer. Follow-up story on this one. So this is a new way to discover and check out patterns inside WordPress. The next is with regards to updates to navigation, data saving, and navigation area block. The next update is with regards to duotone filter transparency, which means that the duotone filters that were introduced with WordPress 5.8 now also support transparency, just like this one, giving you the ability to create masks directly inside WordPress. Pretty cool. Next is about API access API for accessing global styles. This is a developer feature. I don't completely understand this. So if you understand this, make sure to explain that to me in the comments. Next is improvements to comment blocks. Now, comment blocks or comments query loop was introduced recently in Gutenberg, and there has been some improvements regarding that. So tons of improvements to Gutenberg 11.9. I'm very happy with the updates, but there are some FAC improvements I'd still like to see in the future. Talking about the next story for the day is regards to the block model or pattern model explorer, which I just demonstrated. So that feature will be shipping with WordPress 5.9. I just showed you this specific screenshot. This is a new way to discover patterns inside WordPress, and this will ship with WordPress 5.9. So make sure to check it out. Make sure to be familiar with this and use it. Coming to the next interesting story is with regards to LearnDash. So LearnDash is a learning management platform. We highly recommend it. It's a pretty good pretty awesome plugin that you can use on your site. So LearnDash has introduced LearnDash Subscriptions, which allows you to take subscription payments for any kind of courses that you sell online. So the current solution for LearnDash to take subscription payments was through WooCommerce subscriptions, which kind of worked, but now LearnDash has introduced their own subscription feature inside LearnDash, which will help you take payments. So there are some details on this blog post made by Chris Lamer. I'll leave a link down in the description. There are some screenshots, how it will appear or what the UI will look like. So make sure to check it out. It will be part of the 3.6 release, just like Neo. So make sure to check it out. Pretty interesting update. Next update is with regards to ACF or advanced custom fields. So they have recently released the shipped the 5.11 release. And the most interesting update with that is that it's mostly a developer focused release, but now ACF fields support the WordPress REST API. So if you use the REST API to fetch data for other external apps, maybe for some data gathering, now ACF fields can also be passed as variables inside or using the WordPress REST API. Pretty awesome feature, mostly for developers, but I can understand the implication of this kind of change in such a popular plugin like advanced custom fields. So that's the interesting story. Talking about the next couple of interesting improvements to your favorite page builder, Elementor. So the first update is with regards to Elementor 3.5 Beta 2 release, and it has a lot of interesting improvements with regards to design related features, which you and I, general users, can use. So just telling you about some of the improvements, you have now in 3.50 Beta 2 CSS transform options, which you can directly use in the UI of Elementor. So now you have text stroke feature, you have word spacing control, you have mark widgets as favorites so that you can reuse them again. You have multi-select, which is pretty handy if you want to drag stuff around. Drag from desktop, I don't know what this one means, and new experiments UI. So the experiment features has a new UI. So this is pretty interesting, and you also will see on this blog post a couple of examples on how you can use this. And also CSS transform is also coming to Elementor 3.5 Beta 2. That means you can skew, rotate, and make any kind of CSS adjustments to any of these I'd say elements on the screen natively without having to dwell into code. And combined with the motion effects in Elementor Pro, I think this will prove to be a very interesting update with regards to interactive design and animated design on websites. So you have a couple of improvements there as well. And of course, there are a lot of details right here which you can read, but I think I've already given you enough context to understand how it works. Coming to next story again with Elementor is with regards to a different update, and what Elementor is saying, or what Elementor is experimenting with is using a new type of how do I put it, a new layout system called FlexBox. So this will ship, or this has been running as an experiment in Elementor 3.6.0 development 2 version, dev 2. So they are experimenting with a new kind of layout system. And just to cut the story short, you will see an optimized layout experience. That means you'll be able to have more control. It will reduce the DOM load. That is very much welcome for Elementor pages. Increased responsiveness, of course, is welcome. Enhanced nesting capabilities, which is very much welcome. And hyperlink the entire container wrapper. So if you want to set a link to a specific block or widget on the page, you have the capability to do so. So this, again, there's not much information right here, as I'm not a developer, but just to see if these improvements actually come to Elementor 3.6, this will be a welcome change. And of course, this will help create websites faster, better, and they'll be faster and more responsive. So that's the story with Elementor. Talking about the next story is with regards to Pagely, which is a premium, or I say very popular managed WordPress hosting provider, and they have been acquired by GoDaddy. Now, this was a surprise to many because Pagely's founders, it was known in the industry that they started the Pagely business because they were unhappy with how GoDaddy and other popular WordPress hosts were managing the market, or what direction they were taking WordPress hosting in. So once GoDaddy acquired them, this was a surprise. But the founder actually wrote a blog post where they said, okay, GoDaddy is moving in the right direction. And eventually they came to a common conclusion that they both want the same things for the customer, which is better hosting at a better price. That's what I assume. So they have written this blog post which lays out all the details, but the bottom line is Pagely is now part of GoDaddy. So coming to the next story for the day is with regards to Yoast. So for Yoast has a new CEO. So name of the CEO, Thies Juwok, if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, apologies. But this is the new CEO for Yoast, and now they'll be taking over, or he'll be taking over the entire operations. And the existing CEO also wrote a blog post on how she's stepping down from the CEO position, but she will be focusing mostly on content marketing as creative marketing manager. So congratulations to the new CEO. And just to plug in, I just did a complete training on Yoast SEO, 1.5 hour trainings on how to use Yoast SEO on your website. I'll share a couple of links right here on the page, and you can check that out if you're interested or will use Yoast SEO on any of your websites in the future. Coming to the next interesting update, it's with regards to the WordPress State of the World 2021. So this has been officially been announced now. This includes, if you already know, or if you don't know, then this is more of a where is WordPress headed conference, where Matt and other key stakeholders in the WordPress business talk about where WordPress is headed. So I think it was supposed to take place on 14th of 2021, or sorry, 14th of December 2021, which is next month. And now questions are being taken. So if you have interest in talking to WordPress stakeholders, if you have questions about WordPress direction, this is the place to be. Submit your questions and attend this when it happens next month. Coming to the next story for the day is with regards to Lemon Squeezy. So if you don't know Lemon Squeezy is online selling solution now, technically, because Lemon Squeezy has released a new plugin called Lemon Squeezy WordPress plugin, which is an online digital product selling solution. So they have cheekily named it Easy Peasy Digital Downloads. You know what that means. So they released a WordPress plugin which, in their words, should make it easier to sell stuff online, especially digital products. So if you're interested in selling digital products, instead of using WordPress or Easy Digital Downloads, you can also test out Easy Peasy Digital Downloads for WordPress, or the correct name is Lemon Squeezy WordPress plugin. So make sure to check it out if you're interested, or one of your clients is interested in selling digital products. And that's all the interesting WordPress updates. Let's switch to Google updates, because there are some of interesting updates, a lot of outages happening. So coming to the first update with regards to Google Keyword Planner, or GKP for short, has gained year-over-year and 3-month change and trending data. So this is how it looks like. Let me just load the screenshot right here. Now you can see 3-month averages, 3-month changes, and average monthly searches, year-on-year change as well. So earlier, the only chart that you could see in Google Keyword Planner was this. Now, this did not give 100% accurate information, because this was just an yearly thing and you couldn't understand data evolving over time. So now you have 3-month change and also year-on-year change. Welcome for SEOs, welcome for PPC marketers, both alike. Coming to the next interesting update with Google is with regards to Google testing a new IndexNow protocol. So if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I did report that Bing did support, or Bing officially announced that they were using a push-based indexing approach instead of a pull-based indexing approach. And following the likes of Bing, Google is saying that they are now testing the IndexNow protocol. So for those of you who don't understand what this means, is that Now, for example, if you have a website, you just publish content, make sure that your website is added to Google Search Console, and Google just arrives on your site, Googlebot arrives on your site and indexes your site on its own. But now, if your IndexNow protocol becomes a reality, you will have control over pinging Google that, okay, my website is updated, please index it back. So instead of a pull approach where Google automatically indexes your website, you will have to ping it through maybe a WordPress plugin, maybe an API to index your site. It reminds me of the old days where you could ping search engines to visit your website. If you're OG and you know what I mean, let me know in the comments. Coming to the next update is with regards to Google has officially published list of GoogleBot's IP addresses. So if you are worried about, or if you've been getting spam bots, or you're worried about a lot of bots accessing site and you only want Googlebot to access site, now you have a complete list of IP addresses that you can whitelist from your server and you will have no issues at all. If you want to see the actual IP addresses, the link will be in the description as well. And this is a complete list of IP addresses that Google bot uses. Coming to the next story is with regards to an unfortunate outage that happened with Siteground. Not their fault, honestly, looking at the story. So what happened was that Siteground, or some Siteground sites started dropping out of Google search for some reason. And this continued for almost 4 days. Of course, not all Siteground websites were affected, but many were, and people were vocal over Twitter, what's happening. And eventually this was fixed after almost 4 days. And the actual issue that at least Siteground reported was that AWS, which is the backend technology that Siteground uses, their DNS and Googlebot had some conflict. That was the reason why some of their websites actually dropped in search engines. But Siteground got a lot of hate for it. Google got a lot of hate for it. I don't know honestly what the actual reason was, but this is what they have said. So make sure to check out stories. And if you know anything about this, make sure to let me in the comments. So coming to the next, again, another Google bug, or I'd say small glitch. So what happened was Google Ads had a shopping bug where it resulted in huge CPC rises for people. So some people had issues like increasing their CPCs by up to 400%. That's going to be heavy on the wallet. So it was eventually fixed, but if you had to spend 4 times more money to acquire the same number of customers, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be happy. But thankfully, it was fixed very quickly. And coming to the next story for the day is with regards to Google spam update. So I think I reported this, that Google spam update was rolling out, or November spam update was rolling out, or Yaz, I think reported it last week. But the story right here is that this update has actually, or eventually finished rolling out completely after 8 days. So this spam update targeted mostly spam pages which didn't have quality content, at least according to Google, and those should now not be visible in the search results. So if your website was hit, then that's a sign you should probably increase or invest in improving the content of quality of your website. And that's all the interesting stories I have for you this week. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for weekly updates just like this one, and also some interesting WordPress related content. And also make sure to hit the thumbs up on this if I saved you some time, and also watch some of the videos that I'll place on the screen right here. You're watching and listening to Yuvraj from the Brainstorm Force team. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.